Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi, I'm Joey. Go for it.
And I'm Jess.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian. This is episode 159 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Come on along, spend the next hour or so with us talking about gravel bikes, adventure biking, words are hard. Bike packing, bike camping, West Virginia gravel this week, or just
body shaming,
playing bikes.
Oh my God.
Joining us a little.
I can't believe you did that, Joey.
It's okay. Joining us a little later in this episode, Travis Olson, the event director for GRUSK, which is the gravel race up Spruce Knob. Travis is a longtime valued friend of GTD.
Travis is more than a friend.
He's like
he provides our wardrobes. He provides the beverages, the good times. He's like He's like the he's there with Father Dave.
So Dave would
Father
be
Travis.
Father Dave. No, I'm thinking Grandfather Travis.
Ooh.
Not like in an age thing, but in a wisdom thing. He brings much wisdom by clothing us. So
he is the keeper of the bonsais.
Well, you know the best thing about GRUSK is that it's
flat.
No, GRUSK is definitely not flat.
Oh
no.
Man,
GRUSK goes to the highest peak in West Virginia.
Oh, hell no.
and you know what works really well at the highest peak in West Virginia? Cutaway jerseys. Cutaway USA offers premium cycling apparel born in the Blue Ridge. Born at the top of the Blue Ridge, I guess. I don't know. Cutaway is an industry leader using innovative fabrics combined with clean, bold designs. Make sure to visit their website to see all of their gear, cycling apparel, jerseys, bibs, you name it. Check it out at cutawayusa.com. And when you reach checkout, use the code GTD20 to take 20% off your entire order, unless you're buying actual GTD jerseys, which that's closed now, right?
Yes.
That's shut down? How did we do? Did a lot of people order them?
I think we had a good amount.
Good.
It funded us enough to not do much, but yes.
Excellent. That's all we ever want to do.
I'm trying to get rich off this. I'm quitting all my jobs
by selling Cutaway jerseys.
I'm investing in QR codes and crypto.
I knew he was going to say crypto.
I do have a position in crypto.
Oh my goodness.
I do have a position in crypto, but I watch it. I watch it every day, and I watch it go down every day. Now my crypto does pretty well. I'm fine. I'm happy with my crypto. And you wanted to, you can use crypto on the Cutaway USA.
Oh my God.
I don't think you can do that. Don't try to do that. That GTD20 discount code, though, is a special discount just for our listeners. This is the only place you're going to hear about that. So you'll basically be telling Philip and Cutaway that you came to them from us. So please use the discount code. Please, you're losing money if you don't buy something from Cutaway that's going to be quality. We have found out this week, Joey, why you buy quality over, or you either buy quality.
I've done that for a while. I work in the bike industry.
you either buy quality or you buy quantity. You either have to buy the same thing over and over again and hope you don't get hurt when it fails, or you go ahead and just buy quality, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the right
I've learned in my age, now that I am bankrupt, poor. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know why we're talking. I've said on here before, I mean, Jessica knows now I spend money, but I'd rather buy something nice once than buy.
Yeah. Because, well, especially
I spend a lot of time researching before I pull the trigger on something.
In the bike industry, too, there are things out there that can hurt you.
Alibaba, Amazon, all that stuff.
It'll hurt you. If something fails at the wrong time, it'll hurt you. Yeah. What are you drinking?
I have a Kentucky Mule. but I'm going to call it a West Virginia mule for Travis.
Oh, I like that.
Because I actually was waiting until the next time we interviewed Travis or had Travis on. He interviews us.
Mm-hmm.
He sent us a while ago. I have like three more bottles of alcohol from Travis. But this one has the specific
And a flask.
GRUSK. Yeah, and our flask. I'll put that in here.
He keeps us warm inside and out.
Yep. So I did put it in a mason jar for good old WV.
Nice. Nice.
So I've been on this. I really like lime. The lime stuff is great. I had all I had last night was ginger beer and lime, and it was like a 1-to-1 ratio.
Perfect.
I had a lot of lime.
Perfect.
It was good,
Well,
but there's alcohol in this one.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be proper.
You say there's no alcohol in ginger beer.
No.
So you were just drinking ginger beer and lime. That
Yeah.
actually sounds pretty good. You put a little wedge of lime in there too.
No, I go through the
Fancy?
bottles of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I buy the Margaritaville kind or whatever it's called, and it was. We listened to music and had the fireplace going, and I had that last night.
Your vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah.
Yeah, he's such a hipster. I love
It's
it.
not a hipster thing.
A little bit.
I don't know if hipsters
A
are a
little
thing
bit.
anymore.
Is it? Are they?
Yes,
Jess,
hipsters are a thing.
you are our eyes and ears on the social.
Because I teach
channel.
middle school.
What are the middle schoolers? They're Gen Z,
I have no idea.
or is there something behind Gen Z now?
No idea.
Why are we having these labels? Why don't we just?
Oh,
why
I got
don't
a
we-
label on here.
Why don't we stop with labeling like people and things? Door opened. I'm not going to go there. Okay.
I mean, we can. I think it's.
I'll go
I
there.
think it's important that we go there.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
So, what have you guys had happening this week?
Oh, I basically wanted the Pretty Women, William and Snow yesterday.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I went in there. I was gonna drop some $20
Yep.
on some Nespresso pods, but they didn't have the right ones. But I was honestly looking at a nice cutting board and a pizza stone, and the ladies were just kind of beasing. I'm like,
Really? Well, I would think that you would be a guy that would attract. I mean, you look like, okay, I know how to use a pizza stone. I know how to use cutting
You want
boards.
to see my Instagram? I'll show you some good food.
I know how to fill up a charcuterie board. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
I just
You look like
wanted
that
a
kind of
nice,
guy.
hefty. You know, I thought I didn't look like that much of a homeless person. I mean, we had a little fiasco with the Apple Store and stuff yesterday.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Actually, fine. Little tussle, but yesterday was very stressful. But we got through it, and that's why we.
I'll give the inside. Jess's Apple computer MacBook took a nosedive.
Yes,
right?
the night of the Teacher of the Year applications due.
2 nights before is what we
2
set.
nights before.
That's why we had our deadline the day before.
So
and everything was on the cloud.
everything
so-
was on my phone. We printed it out, and I said, Joey,
She's
I'm just
mine.
getting it done. Like, it's just going to be done because, like, you sit there and you wrestle, and you're like, I can do this better. I can do this better. You know,
You can that dog can that tail can wag the dog all day long.
You know, so we just said we're doing it tonight. I took Joey's laptop and I did it right through. I just recorded it, did what I need to.
So what actually happened at the Apple Store?
Well, we forgot to turn off the Find My. You have to turn off your Find My whatever as her computer. But Jess was in class and she didn't know any of her passwords because they were saved on her computer. So I got there early and I'm calling her during school and she's like in class and then
So I'm like stepping out. I don't have reception in my classroom. So I'm like stepping out in the hallway in the stairwell, like in this little nook where I know we have reception.
And I
kept
bet you
giving me
those kids probably go nuts as soon as you exit the door.
Well, that's the thing is there's kids in my classroom still. So
Yeah.
luckily I had somebody else in there.
she kept giving me her PIN number for her phone. I'm like, no. I'm like,
So-
I'm like, I literally can't leave your computer. So then I went and got coffee and then she reset her password.
So are they going to be able to fix it?
Yeah, but if
Okay.
you break your screen on a MacBook Pro of current and date, it's $600.
Wow.
Couple
It was
thousand
a
$1,000
little
computer.
bit pricey.
Yeah, it's still a little pricey though. Did you try the trick of plugging it into another computer?
We did.
We
and
did.
yeah.
And that's why we know it was the screen because I could
That
put it on-
worked.
and that
Yeah.
worked.
Ah.
That was Brian's idea.
Good job, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, I would say Jess is really tough on her stuff. So we just need to get her a case.
There you go.
She chucks it in her nice Nittany Mountain Works duffel bag.
Which is not lined with any foam
No.
kind of like,
It happened. She's had that a couple of years. I've had this one since like 2018.
Yeah.
And it's just as good as the day I bought it. Like
Oh.
nothing's changed on it as far as speed or.
Anything going on in the bike shop?
Oh, I've been paddle banned.
Oh, you've
like
been
Florida man,
paddleboard,
paddle man.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we went kayaking the other day.
Yeah, we paddled the run just to change things up. Get out.
Nice.
No, I say we're so filled out, and our bike side's been running so smooth. Service has picked up with that warm weather.
Yeah. As you
So
expected
we were booked out a week again after like crushing stuff in a day. But obviously before last episode, I went to North Carolina and back. But we have so many boats. I've been rearranging the store. We've been putting boats in the store while doing all the bike stuff still. But I haven't touched much bike stuff personally. So I haven't even been working. No, I've been working on bikes.
You helped me out on my bike. We'll talk about that in
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah, so we paddled the run. It was just a nice change of things, Macintosh run. It was the water's still very cold. So I don't want people to go out and just start.
I've got ice on the creek.
It.
I was actually down at the creek this afternoon, and I have ice right up on all the way up the creek, back up. It's almost like where my pier is where the ice stops, and it was broken on the edge, and it was all chattering. It was like really kind of cool.
It's a peaceful sound.
But I would not recommend people jump out there in the water. But Macintosh Run, that's very small water.
Yeah, it does open up, but most places are 6 inches to a foot.
And you could also like step out of the boat and basically
You could step out,
fall down and hit a tree.
Yeah,
on the side.
Yeah, and there was 3 of us. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
like I put a thing on Instagram because I knew I'd get crap for it about going out, but I'm like,
Pshaw.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Of course.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Sister.
It was great.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Did Blakey get to go?
Blake didn't.
Okay.
Because if he did jump in the water, it'd be too cold.
Yeah, it'd be very
It
cold.
wouldn't
So-
bother him. It's just I'd have to go in after him if he didn't come.
Yeah. Come this way, Blake.
Well, I want to get him out soon. Obviously, he's fine with the water, and the cold doesn't bother him. But when I want to get him in a boat, there's a chance he's going to flip me over, so I'm going to wait till it warms up.
How in the world? I've always wondered that. How does that cold water not bother the dogs?
It probably does, but it takes him longer. He's also in a lab. He's got insulated, hollow hair, all that good lab stuff. But eventually, it'll get cold.
Yeah.
But he's also a dumb lab, so he doesn't know when to stop.
So we had a couple of really nice days last week that I took advantage of, and I got out on my bike. And on one of my adventures, I rode the work in both times because I want to getting that bike dialed in is part of getting ready for Croatan. I stopped by the bike shop after about, I guess it's like mile in that loop. It's like mile 27 or something on a 43, and I had Joey. Very kindly, I kind of went in and he kind of tinkered with some things and got the shifting on point, got everything dialed in really nice. But while I was there, we both kind of collectively decided, let's flip that little tuning chip on the rear dropout. And wow, what a different bike. That's a 20 millimeter difference, right? Isn't that what it was? I think that's what it
Something
said
like
it was. And it
440 down to 420.
And it brought the so it shortened the wheelbase, and I don't feel like I'm at a rider level where I should be able to tell that difference. Maybe it's just because I spend so much time on the bike that I'm able to actually decipher that. But with that longer wheelbase, when that bike would go into a turn, it was really sluggish, and it climbed a little sluggish. And we flipped that chip, and that became a completely different bike. Snappy in the turns. And, I do a lot of out and backs, so I notice that at the bottom of the road, like the bottom of Soller's Wharf, where you have to turn around. It really jumped out at me that's a huge difference in that bike. Lost a little bit of clearance. So I'm not sure what that's going to mean. But I definitely will ride that bike in that flipped, shorter wheelbase all day long. Snappy.
Even at unpaved?
I think so. We were talking about that. You were talking about the longer
You should
wheelbase.
go with the longer wheelbase on that one.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Ask Father Dave. He'll tell you.
Really?
He'll tell you it's also Warbird, but...
I just, because I'm feeling like I'd rather have more control of the bike than to have the back end sort of drifting on me.
But the longer wheelbase should give you more control. Longer chain stays a little more sluggish, but you have more stability and control.
Okay. Well, I just felt like if I was trying to pick my way through, I'm never doing the difference again. Because
I think you should try to shave off some time. Let's all peer pressure Brian a little bit.
Wouldn't be hard to do. It took like 3.5 hours to get through it, I think, last time. So then the second day we had some nice weather. I was back out again on the working, and I totally blew out the rear tire. The tire literally came off of the wheel and exploded. I didn't show you the video. Did I show you the video, Jess? I'll show you the video.
I'm looking.
And I sent it to Joey because I actually cut it off of my camera, my rear-facing little Fly 6, and you can hear it. The timing on the audio versus the video is a little bit off, but it exploded. Here, what? See, take a look at
She's
it.
not gonna,
What you can hear it. Do you hear it?
I hear it. And I see it like wiggle.
And the tires.
yeah.
And
I was like, he was down before we heard the shot.
I don't know, and I don't know what would have caused that. Maybe just it wasn't seated quite right, or
Someone shot your tire.
well, I put a tube in it because I didn't want to play with trying to reseat that tire, so I just threw a tube in it, and I still did another 25 miles after that.
Did you get any sealant in your pants?
In my pants?
Like, did you shart?
No, I didn't get any sealant there. There's sealant all over the bike, so I'm certainly hopeful that sealant comes off of titanium clicking easy.
I don't know. Don't bring it to me.
Is that the only thing that damages titanium ever is orange seal?
Eats right through it. I just didn't know if that startled you enough to, shart.
Oh, no. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It did kind of spook me, and it's kind of pushed me off from those Rene Hurst tires. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to
I'll take them off your hands.
the tried and true Pathfinders, if I can get them. Do you think they're available?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I know I have some in the store.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I stock those bad boys.
Okay, well then
I just forgot. I was paddle man today. I redid our whole paddle room.
Really? Well, I'll come in tomorrow.
Yeah, looks great.
And I'll
I got like
take a look at
800
that.
Kayaks in.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that and do all that. So,
Ah.
where are we at with hats? Jeff, did you have anything else?
Oh, actually,
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, where are we? With
I too
hats?
had a blowout this week.
I'm sure you had daily blowouts. That it? Not going to go anywhere else with that.
Not going to go anywhere else with that. I'm just going to shake my head.
Hats.
Actually, I need to text them. Let me see. No.
People are getting tired of hearing you say that every week. I need to text Philip. I need to text the hat guy. It's okay. It's fine.
He's a busy man.
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
It's the way the world works
It
in
is.
today's. You have got to have learned two things during COVID: to be patient and to be flexible. Right?
I'm very patient. Mm-hmm. As much as I can be, but the Uncrustables are really throwing a damper in.
Every time I'm in the Giant,
know.
I look to see.
I know. I don't
when
know
I
why.
buy them and there's like 6 packs left, I'll buy 4 because I don't want to be the person that clears it out.
I know. I do the same
so I
thing.
feel bad, but
You leave 2. I would leave 1.
Yeah.
I would leave just 1.
But why are the Uncrustables in such a shortage?
I
don't know.
The farmers having issues.
Do you know that there is a problem with avocados?
have
Not at Giant the other day.
Well, avocados from Mexico are now like you can't get them anymore, or they're not allowing them to come into the country or something. Congress has got involved.
oh my god.
Jeez.
like they don't have enough other stuff to
my
worry
goodness.
about. We're gonna start
Speaking
the
of
great
which, I'm checking Crux frames right now.
avocado wars.
I will literally just get a frame for Jess and put all my stuff from Athos on it.
That's the way to do it.
But they're not even here. Well, I need that stuff back, but
okay.
I would do it for Croatan. I can't even. Still frames there.
Yeah. What are you gonna ride at Croatan?
For Diverge.
My
You're gonna ride to
Diverge.
Diverge? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing the 50.
You know what? Some of the girls in my group are going down to the 50, and I think I'm gonna trial and error the 100. Like, what's
Excellent.
the worst that could happen? It takes me longer than everybody else.
Alligators.
No, there's no gators. There might be a few gators, but it's cold.
You know,
so
we have a
they'd be-
crocodile sign down on Solomon's.
They'd be a little slow, little gator.
So, what's the worst that's gonna happen? It takes me a little bit longer. I have to get off and readjust myself and then get back on.
Well, I'm doing, and I think Ted is, and I think Larry is as well. We're doing that long weekend.
Yeah.
So I think Ted and Larry have signed up for the full $150. I'm only signed up for the 100. I'm only signed up for the $100. So I'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
Right there.
So I'll be doing
hand
this-
on my back the entire time.
75 to 75, and then the 100.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
excited about
Once my application was over, I feel like I have this like good like brush of fresh air going on.
The weight has been lifted off
So
your
the weight
shoulder.
has been lifted because they only gave us a week to complete everything. So it was really time crunch with teaching. So this morning, Blake gets up at 3:45. So I took Blake on our 3-mile walk this morning. We leave the house at 4:30 once I get a full cup of coffee in me. And then we come home and have breakfast and stuff. And then I was able to ride my bike after school.
It's like a normal day.
Like a normal day. I wasn't bringing home like 4 or 5 hours of schoolwork. So it felt really good today.
Joe, you're not bringing any work home, are you?
I'm doing it right now.
That's why Jess and I are having.
I know we're having a conversation.
Jess and I are
I
having
have
a
no idea when
conversation.
he talked about this first 30 minutes. He's like, I'm looking at this.
You want to do Strava Club since we don't know what's going on with hats? Hats will be here some
I
point.
text John. We'll see.
Hats are coming.
Hats are coming.
Hats are coming. They'll be here when they get here. Relax. Patience.
All right,
Patience.
let's see. All right, Strava Club. Are we doing classes for this? Like,
No.
Joey, why are you bringing that up?
because it needs to be addressed.
It does need to be addressed.
All
But
right,
just not right now. Brian told me he would wave to me like this when I could start.
Okay. Hi.
Oh, no, it's Strava Club time.
Bob Gundry from Herndon, Virginia, with 221.3 miles.
Wow.
Bob? Big
All right.
miles. Big miles.
Yeah, Ryan Strimke from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota with 117.3. And then David Hunter from Richmond, Virginia,
Oh, nice. Good job.
with 127.8.
Job.
With that warm weather, we spiked up to 111.2 miles.
That added like
Ooh.
6 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're still at 808. And isn't it 1,000 by April 1st for Mustache?
Yep.
Yeah.
1,000 Strava Club members by April 1st gets me to take 6 months to grow a mustache.
And I just got to show
I
you.
must ask you a question.
My beard's getting pretty long, and I kind of want to keep it going. So
Are you going to keep it? Are you actually going to make it big? You doing a big boy mustache?
we have a mustache.
No, I mean beard. I'm sorry.
Not much more than this. It's like filling out really nice.
When guys wear their mask and they have a beard, it looks like a thong over their face. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, they get the little beard dent.
yeah,
They
and
get
then
the
it's
little-
weird.
the
And I'm
dent
like,
in the beard.
it's kind of weird.
So mine's bushy, but I got beard stuff in it. I was thinking I got my hair cut, and the last beard trim I did, I think beard trim was somewhat recently, but it grew back quick. I didn't cut it off, but my last haircut was Thanksgiving, so I didn't look like
Really?
a homeless guy going to my in-laws.
It's like
I did trim up my beard.
Your hair doesn't look that long,
It's long.
is it? I need to get a haircut too. That's why I'm wearing a hat. I got a new hat, so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I kind of like when my hair is long enough to flip up underneath my hat, but I don't know how Chris Howell does the long hair. He pulls it out. He looks good, but as a ginger, I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't think I could grow my hair that long. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So
So if you want to see Brian with a mustache and me shave my beard, strava.com/clubs/gravel travel dirt.
So I appreciate everybody. Thank you for being here. However, as a voice in a gravel community,
The voice
the voice
of reason.
of gravel.
just a person in this environment. I mean, there's a lot of controversy right now on the Facebook. It prompted a discussion about weight classes in gravel community. So, Brian, can you explain the weight classes?
I probably can't, but I do know
We
that-
shouldn't have weight classes. That's why.
So, is it actually? I think isn't it just one weight class that's for larger people that they call Athena and Clydesdale?
The Athena is usually 165 plus.
But that is those measures, and we were talking about this before the podcast, and I think the only place you've seen them, the only place that I have ever seen them, is in the world of triathlon.
Correct.
I've never seen those terms and those classes being used in any kind of cycling event.
Correct.
Okay.
So I will just come from a place of being an Athena. I raced the New York City Triathlon as an Athena. And I saw at registration that the Athena were the last people to jump in the water. I was so nervous during the New York City I was so nervous at registration that I wasn't going to finish. I wanted to go with my age group because they were first. They were going first in the waves.
Sure.
So I asked the nice people at registration. I was like, "Can I get in my age group?" And they said, "You have to weigh yourself." I got on the scale.
You literally had to get on a scale. It
Literally
wasn't
had to
even
get on the scale.
self-reporting. It
Wasn't
was
self-reporting.
You had to get on
I
a
had
scale.
to get on the scale.
That's horrific.
So I was extremely mortified at the registration.
Oh my God.
So my brother and my sister-in-law were there, and I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I'm like 180 pounds, and I had to get on the scale, and I couldn't go back down to my weight or to my age group. I had to stay in my weight category. And it was really hard. Like it was really, really not a good experience. But that was also my first experience with the podium. So I actually got to stand in New York City in Central Park on a podium for placing second in my in my Athena category.
Okay.
Which was cool. However, it made me super self-conscious of my weight, of my times, of my numbers, of all the paralysis by,
Okay.
you know what I'm trying to say? There was too many things going on.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Go, I'm ready.
Because it's horrible enough, in my opinion, that they're going to impose that type of a category, but then to hold you to it and to make you actually get on a scale is absurd.
It was. And, the New York City Triathlon, it's not a joke. There's lots of people there. It's a big event. It's probably the reason why I got out of triathlons was the Athena category.
Wow. And so why are we seeing it? And I know we don't have an answer to this.
Yeah.
It's the rhetorical. Why are we seeing that coming into the gravel community? I agree
with you. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's there. I don't race gravel like I'm going out and winning. Mm-hmm. It's more of a completion thing and a day to have fun and get on my bike. And I think when you start putting labels and stuff like that on things, I think it gets messy and tricky and very self-conscious. I don't like it.
Yeah. So I think Joey hit the nail. We were talking about this earlier too, and Joey's like, let's just do away with classes.
I agree.
Let's especially any class that has to do with body type. What is that? And that's the only one that there is, right? There's not like wrestling where it's you have this class, this. It's
you don't have the twig bitch category.
Exactly.
Oh man, first time sorry.
Not the first time. It's just this one extreme end that they've decided to, the universal day. I'm not calling out anybody in specific because it's just something that is there. So I mean, the universal they have decided that the higher end of this has to have a name, and it doesn't.
It doesn't need it. It doesn't need a name. And I read a lot of people's posts on Facebook and all these things, and it was really hurtful.
Yeah.
Really hurtful. I mean, I think it's enough every day for me to get on my bike. I find that a success in my day. I don't need another label or another stereotype on top of me when I'm out there riding my bike.
Agree.
We're Clydesdales.
Yeah. It's the same thing though. I mean, it's just, gender doesn't matter. It's body shaming at the end of the day, right? Right? Am I wrong?
Isn't that what the gravel scene's trying to get rid of in general?
And that's what I mean.
It's doing a good job
at I
between all the cycling aspects, gravel's the one that's getting quote unquote getting rid of it.
Yeah. We're eliminating that. You see race directors all the time adding the non-binary, adding all sorts of classes to take into account
for inclusivity. We want as many people as we can to come and ride and to be positive and to have this community. We don't need little groups and categories. We don't need that.
You don't need this group of people to have a name and a label put on them because of the way they look.
Exactly. We have labels on us all the time. I don't need one when I'm riding my bike.
Yeah.
I don't need that added layer of pressure.
And Joey did actually say, it's why we even have classes at all? I can see where there's if it's an event where there's a group of people that actually want to race it and are maybe having an elite class, a racer class, and then having everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not standing on any more podiums anytime soon.
Yeah.
But that was a experience that happened, and it was a real thing.
We stood on Dave's podium together.
We did stay, and that's what I love. Like, I got to stand on that podium with Joey when he finished, and I was so proud of him.
Well,
Yeah.
I just barged right up, but
Joey said that I had to go on top. That came out wrong. I said it, and I closed my eyes, and I was like, I know somebody's going to say something.
Nope, we're letting that slide.
I got on top of the podium because Joey's little legs couldn't stand up there. But
you missed it.
Thanks, guys.
You missed it. I couldn't get up.
You literally couldn't get up there?
He could not get up there.
Yeah, I just couldn't stand up. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, everybody's legs hurt at the end of that day.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody got off the bike and they were wobbling.
Jessman got me a 4-pound bottle of CBD from Floyd's. They're like,
I
just
was
take
like,
it.
Excuse me, my husband, he's having a really hard time walking. I need something. And then the guy went in his trunk and was like, here you go. Put this, have Joe put your legs
Remember we
on
all
it.
bathed in that the next morning in the parking lot of Denny's?
I was thinking about this last few days. We need a CBD sponsor now that we have a jersey sponsor. Why do we not have a CBD sponsor?
Basically, they've been using Floyd's for a couple of years now.
But I know, but we should have a CBD sponsor that we talk about that supports us, because I think that would be a natural fit. So if anybody out there is a CBD company and is looking, you got to produce quality though, because not all CBD.
Don't skip out on that stuff.
Not all CBD is created equal. I actually just bought a whole cart full, like the credit card company was like, what are you doing? Is this legitimate Floyd's of Leadville?
Did you really buy that much Floyd's?
Yes, I did.
Brian, I sell Floyd's. I get you your deal on it.
You sell Floyd's in the shop?
I don't stock it, but I have access to all of it.
He does all the time.
He never asks.
Well, I don't think I never would have thought, because
It's all right.
you don't have a display of it, and so I don't.
No, but I just need to start getting a bunch of it, I guess.
Even just a little bit. If you had just a little bit, then I would know. Oh, I can go there to get my Floyd's. Well, because I think I'm going to be, I'm going to be looking for more. So I'm going to eat all the gummies at one time. All the gummies. I did do full spectrum as opposed to the.
I do full spectrum 100 milligram pills.
Do you really? Do you
yeah,
really?
we bought them at Unpaved. I ration those a little bit more because they're pretty potent. Not potent, but
how often do you take those?
only days that I'm really having back pain.
Okay.
Or neck pain.
Okay.
It was expensive. It was $80 for 30 of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm probably down to 12, 15.
Yeah, it's not cheap stuff. So
because I have a lot of other Floyd stuff, so I mix that in. I have the the stuff with the eyedropper bottle and the bar.
So you have a contact at Floyd's? We really do need. I really do think we would be able to do for a CBD company what we've been able to do for Philip at cutawayyusa.com.
I take no CBD.
You don't take any CBD?
No.
Okay. So it's just a
I
Joey
have no
thing.
pain. No pain.
She has pain. She just is afraid that she'll have some trace of it in her P-test she'll never take for school.
Well, the full spectrum stuff does have THC in it, but it's a very, very tiny.
I need to take a lot of that then to feel that.
Tiny 0.3%.
There is no pain on just Sikorsky's side.
Didn't you use some Floyd's after Unpaved?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. All right. I thought you did. I thought
No.
Joey and I were bathing in it.
You guys were bathing.
We were applying it to each other.
You were. That did happen.
Everybody joining us now, Travis Olson, who is the event director for GRUSK. Welcome, Travis. It's so exciting to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me back. I love you guys and lady, and I've been looking so forward to coming back on the show.
Well, it's always a treat.
Me too. I saved a bottle of alcohol until we talk next. So,
and Joey actually referred to you as grandfather Travis.
I'm
did
not say
exactly
grandfather.
That was.
I said you're like Father Dave.
I said
no. It's on the pot.
You'll hear it, but I said grandfather in a wisdom kind of way, as somebody that has the opportunity to share with us youths, street youths, about the world of gravel. Anyway, where are you calling us from tonight, Travis? Let's go in a different direction.
How old are you compared to Brian, Travis?
Oh, wow. So I'll tell you how old I am. I'm 48.
Oh, dang, Brian.
Not a grandfather. But
Jeez.
I have lots of wisdom and things like not to do on a bicycle. Or life in general.
I actually am a grandfather, so maybe I should share my wisdom with you, Joey.
I'm okay.
Where are you?
But
Where you?
I'm calling in from my basement here in Monongah, West Virginia.
Nice.
Tucked in the north central part, about 30 miles south of Morgantown. That's the easiest point of reference.
Okay.
WVU, Go Mountaineers, all that stuff.
Got it. Take just a real quick minute, if you don't mind. Our listeners probably should actually know a lot about you already, but give them the 50,000 foot view of who Travis is.
Oh, yeah, happy to. So Travis Olson is obviously the event director for GRUSK. I've been doing that for 6 years. But before GRUSK, avid cyclist, been cycling since just after I could walk. If I wasn't cycling, I was skateboarding. Something you probably didn't know about me. Before I moved, I grew up in West Virginia. Moved away, did some adventure therapy type work in Richmond, Virginia, met my lovely wife, moved up to DC. I didn't bike there very much just because I didn't have the bike crew that I wish I would have known. There were so many awesome cyclists from the DC area when I was there. I would have definitely got into cycling, but moved back to West Virginia. Early 2000s, picked up cycling, started mountain biking a lot, and things just rolled into a lot of races and then gravel and then wanting to put on my own gravel event. So that kind of catches us up to where we are today.
How much racing did you do?
Well, quote unquote racing. I don't know, probably several years. I mean, I thought I was a really hot Cat 5 road racer, and then I learned that was terrible. Spent a lot of time off the back. I was really good for the first maybe 5 miles, and then the first hill would hit. Because I'm a bigger rider, Clydesdale rider, so hills aren't my friend, but I do love hills. But mountain biking, I love mountain biking, and raced that quite a bit. The 24 hours of Big Bear when it was here, and some other longer events. I love the endurance kind of stuff.
I'm kind of right there with you in that I'm a bigger guy, and I shouldn't like climbing, and it's not that I'm good at it, but I've said it before on here. I actually enjoy climbing.
Not me.
I kind of like that, settle into the rhythm. I'd rather climb than descend, I think, on a lot of places. But
yeah, the older I get, the more I hate descending. I've had a couple crazy crashes and broken bones, but I do like just settling into a long climb.
Maybe that's it. Maybe
good therapy.
Maybe that's we're it's the wisdom thing, Travis, that you and I bring
whatever
to
you two are smoking.
All right, what's the story behind GRUSK? Where did it come from?
Where did it go? I feel like GRUSK was on the forefront of all this gravel stuff too, which is pretty cool.
Kind of, but I kind of stood on the shoulders of giants here in West Virginia. I don't know if you're familiar with J.R. Petsko, but he put on the Hilly Billy Roubaix.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was going for about 5 years before I launched GRUSK. But Hilly Billy Roubaix was my very first gravel event. The first year that JR put that on, I went and did it. And, I think there were roughly 100 folks, and I came in maybe third from last. I think a tandem couple were right behind me, and it was the most miserable but fulfilling experience that I ever had on a bike. And that was the longest I'd ridden at 75 miles. My longest ride before that was 50. So it was incredibly brutal. And I hated everything about it. I had a lot of choice words about JR during the event, but it ended up becoming something I really loved, and I like to do it.
And that's still going on. It's the Hilly Billy Roubaix, still a thing.
Well, unfortunately, no. Yeah, it hung up. JR got a job with the Parks and Rec in the county, and he just didn't have time to devote to it like it needed. So he hung that up, and it went for 10 years, and one of my favorite races. But that's kind of what got me into gravel, and so one summer I decided to go down and climb up Spruce Knob on my bicycle. I had done it when I was in college on a mountain bike, and didn't know any better, and then found my way back there 15 years later, and just kept on dragging friends down there, and they said, well, this would be a great place for a race. And of course, when you haven't promoted a race before, it seems like a really good idea. So I'm like, oh yeah, this would be a great place for a race. So, several years later, I threw my hat in the ring and put on the first GRUSK, in cooperation with the the folks who own the venue up on top of Spruce Mountain experience learning. They have a beautiful piece of property right at 4,000 feet on the flanks of Spruce Knob, and it just makes the ideal setting for an event.
So how many years now for GRUSK?
This will be the shoot. You asked me too quick. I want to say 6th actual year, but it's been going on for 7. Of course, the lost year, 2020.
Yeah, the lost year.
This will be the 6th.
Yeah. What are this year's event dates?
The main event is July 9th, but we open the doors to the venue the evening of July 6th, and we have a bike packing event that heads out early in the morning of July 7th for the folks who want to bike pack it, and then the racers for that same 213-mile course go out Friday morning, and we'll see a lot of those before midnight. Or just after midnight. There are just some animals out there in the cycling world. And it's amazing.
Yeah, in that side of the house, there are some people that just go. I don't know how they do it. I don't actually know how it's done.
I don't have that club in my bag. I don't know how they do it.
Nope. So it's a whole weekend long sort of event festivity thing then.
That's how it's grown into a weekend event, and I really like that aspect of it. I mean, it's a little more work, and I have to get to the remote venue a few days early now. But you get up there at elevation, you beat the heat, and the people start trickling in, and we have live music that starts Friday. It's really become I guess you could call it a festival atmosphere. It's a really cool spot, and it's turned into a really cool weekend event.
That's I think the best part about the gravel scene, quite honestly.
Agreed.
Is it's more than just going and doing a thing and then getting a T-shirt and walking away. There is experience wrapped up inside of that adventure that lives on, especially on those when those experiences like Unpaved last year are kind of muddy and ugly, and they live on for a very long time in the back of your head.
The rainy, muddy ones do.
What's the location like? Where is it happening again?
So it's in the middle of the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. It's a huge national forest that kind of spans the length diagonally through the mountains of West Virginia, and the venue is it's a 500-acre private inholding within the national forest that belongs to a nonprofit. So they provide the venue that allows me to host up there on their property, and they have dorms, just a few dorms, and they have a kitchen, and they do the cooking for us. But what they really have are the views. But the course winds its way around several drainages that really flow into both sides of the Eastern Continental Divide. Some flow into the Mississippi, some flow into the Potomac. So the major drainages are the Greenbrier, the Cheat, and the Potomac. And we ride through all of those drainages, obviously up and down mountains, and with the finale being Spruce Knob, the highest point in the state.
So if you were to fall off the west side, you would roll down into the Mississippi, and if you were to fall off the
Brian.
east side, I'm just Jess. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you pick up a couple trout on the way, and it'd be a bumpy ride until you got to some of the bigger rivers. But yeah, eventually you'd hit the mighty Miss.
Jess wouldn't know where she is anyway.
I never know where I am. Honestly, I can't find myself around races. That's why I have to start going with Joey places, because I can't follow a course map or a Strava or anything like that.
Well, we mark. That's one of our hallmarks, I think. If I try to do one thing right, it's mark the course well. And as long as people don't steal it, there's always that. You have, people want to run signs over just because they have nothing better to do, or steal signs. But I'd rather have that than someone turn a sign around, which I've had before too in other races, because that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But Jess, it's hard to get lost. You just follow the person in front of you, and you'll get there.
Cool.
Well, I think so many people now, your courses are on your devices, so I'm not saying I love the marking, but you should, and we tell this to people in the touring world all the time. use multiple points of reference. So if your GPS is telling you one thing and that sign is telling you something different, you need to consider which one is right and really think about that. So,
absolutely. I'm a huge advocate of folks loading things onto either their phone or their Garmin or Wahoo or both, ideally.
Yep.
And then saving that, not just relying on cell service, because obviously I have good cell service here in this part of West Virginia, but down in the Mon National Forest, you're lucky up on some of the ridges to get any service at all. So, don't come to GRUSK expecting to get cell service and find your way around. It's probably going to end up in a bad day.
Have you considered, or do you actually partner with somebody like Ride with GPS to actually have the route available for people to be able to follow if they can?
So, well, maybe not in the way that you're talking, but we can explore that. But I do exclusively use Ride with GPS for my route creation, and those are the links that I send folks to download.
Okay.
But no, I probably should partner with Ride with GPS. I just have not reached out to them.
Yeah, because there might be something that you could do because not everybody's a Ride with GPS subscriber. And you don't get the turn by turns if you aren't. If you do, then obviously the routes that you provide, I would be able to load it into my Ride with GPS, which then would marry to my Garmin, and I'd have all these things screaming at me. But if I'm not a Ride with GPS subscriber, there are still ways that you can provide that route kind of navigation to participants. So might be something interesting to explore. You might want to crack that door a little bit. What are the number of riders? How big is the event?
So last year we had close to, I want to say 420 that actually showed up. Almost 500 were registered, and those 80 really missed out that didn't show up. But this year we already have 200, and
wow.
registration's been open for maybe less than a month now. Or just right at 1 month. So we're already past our 2021 numbers, which makes me happy. It's we capped it at 600 this year, which I'll be very honest. I like to keep the feel of a small grassroots event, and when you get past 400, even when you get past 300, you start to lose a little bit of that feel. But with the way GRUSK is in the venue, with that many people, it still feels really, really small and welcoming. And the riders tend to get spread out pretty quickly on some of those climbs, so you never feel like you're in this huge peloton.
Tell me, of those numbers, how many people actually kind of come for the whole weekend?
I would say at least a third. We have a ton of people who come to camp. Camping at GRUSK is in this huge, open meadow that has, 50 to 70 mile views down into Virginia, looking toward Monterey, Virginia. And you can actually see the one of the towers that's up on Spruce Knob from our venue. It's a really cool, really beautiful camping site. So a lot of people come for the entire weekend. They'll come early and camp out and come sit by the campfire. We have campfires every night, and hang out and drink all the beer and sip on the bourbon and tell bike stories.
So that sounds delightful. But is there a hotel close?
No.
Like if you can't go camping?
Jess is not a camper.
I'm not a camper.
Unfortunately not. We have dorm rooms, and there are a few just 2-person like yurt. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a yurt.
Yeah.
They're big in Mongolia. You see them all over the place over there in the Himalayas, but they have several guest yurts. But they're usually, they book those up on Airbnb kind of separate from the event. So those go pretty quickly, and I usually don't get too many of those. But to answer your question, the closest hotel is maybe 45 minutes away at the bottom of the mountain.
Ouch.
There are a couple, and I mean, so as the crow flies, it's not very far. But as the gravel road drives, it's 45 minutes.
Well,
there's no cell phone service.
One thing you've got in early July at elevation is very comfortable temperatures.
Yeah, that's true.
You're going to escape the heat. It's not going to be a hot camping experience like you may be envisioning in a July kind of window, Jess.
Right. And that takes a lot of people by surprise, even though in some of my pre-race emails, I try to warn people of that. The difference between, sweltering, Chesapeake Bay or even big city, Richmond or Pittsburgh kind of temperatures in July. I mean, it can be miserable and humid, but you get up to 4,000 feet and it can be cold. And, one year it got really cold, like down in the upper 40s, maybe 50s at night. And, that was the first year I sold hoodies, sold out in like minutes. It was awesome.
Which, by the way,
your hoodies are amazing.
I understand
they
should actually sell out all the time because the hoodies are the most amazing hoodies. I still have my blue one. I still have my new red one, and they're regular. There's almost as regular rotation as my Dirty Kitten
and his
T-shirts.
You're wearing your Dirty Kitten one right now.
I wear this T-shirt a lot.
You mean GRUSK?
No, I'm wearing my Dirty Kitten T-shirt now, but I wear my hood when I need a hoodie. That's the go-to. The GRUSK hoodie is and you don't get a lot of comments on that. Do you guys get comments on your?
I know my FedEx guy still.
Yeah, you should sell them in the shop, Joey.
Yeah, find out what size your UPS guy wears.
That was our FedEx guy. He used to live in our neighborhood.
He used to live in our neighborhood.
We'll give him my blue one. I remember the last time I was out there, it was like 98 humid here, which was like, I don't know, whatever, heat index. And we got out there in the middle of July. I think it was, anyway, late July, early August. It was like 76 and no humidity.
Mm-hmm.
So what
it was so nice.
Sorry, Joey. What are the routes? Like, is there a 20, 50, 100? Like, what's the mileage?
We got them all, Jess. We got 25. We have a 32, a 51. 82 mile, and then we're changing our, and they're named after like a large coffee retailer.
Oh, I love coffee.
Cup size. So we have our tall, we have our grande, we have our venti. So the shortest one is 25 miles. That's directly from the venue to the summit and back down. And then we have our medio, that's a 50 miles, and that gets you all the sights and all the climbing that you might want. So that's everything's right around 100 feet per mile, but the longer routes, start shedding some of that back because you get some of the longer valleys we were able to include in those longer routes. So the 80-mile route has 7,200 feet of climbing, which is a lot, but it's okay because the climbs around GRUSK that are included in GRUSK in that area of the Mon National Forest they're gradual. You might see some little pitches that are maybe 8%, but most everything is like 4 to 5%. They're just long grinds, so you just settle into it and pedal to your heart's content. You can make it as hard as you want.
The faster you go, the harder it is.
Exactly. It's nothing where you're just standing up on the pedals. Nothing really that steep. Well, okay, I take that back. So the Soul Crusher climb comes right at the very end when you're getting back into the venue. So you ride through the gate at the venue, and then you just have this little short wall right in front of you. And if you ride it, it hurts because it's at the end of the ride, and it hurts if it's at the beginning of the ride because it's so steep and rocky. But Jess, I think you'd be fine.
Thanks.
But to get back to your question, we have a 105-mile route. We dialed the Grande back a little bit. It was 140 miles last year, and it really took riders away from the venue, and I required everyone to have a satellite tracker. Well, I removed that requirement just to make it a little more affordable for folks, and they didn't have to worry about having a satellite tracker. So now it's 105 miles and keeps folks closer to the venue on roads that I can manage a little easier.
That seems smart. That seems like a very smart thing to have done, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just trying to eliminate things that are problematic, but don't want to eliminate the things that are fun.
So
try to strike a good balance.
Do your bike packers? Do you still actually have them on trackers?
I do. Yeah. So, anybody who's bike packing, I require to have a satellite tracker. If you're in a group, only one person has to have that satellite tracker. But if you're racing, you have to have a tracker and you have to register on track leaders.
Okay. All right.
we try to keep tabs on you all through the night. It's dot watching's kind of fun.
I
don't have a lot of time to do that, but it's kind of fun.
I do it all the time at school. Like I check to see where Joey is, because like sometimes he's in Leonardtown, sometimes he's at the shop. But it's so funny when I check and I see like Joey's like at like Popeyes or like something like that.
Popeyes.
Like, yeah, it's really funny. I'm like, I always take screenshots of it, and he's like,
Do you track Blake like that now?
I have
too?
a tracker on Blake and I have a tracker on Joey. So
It's a little creepy. So registration is open, correct?
It is wide open, absolutely.
And
it's open.
Where can people find that?
So they can find it at a couple places. Obviously, the first place they should probably look if they want to register is Bike Reg. So bikereg.com/GRUSK. Pretty simple. Or just go to Bike Reg and then type GRUSK in the search bar, and that'll pop right up. Or just usually go to Google, and that'll pull their registration site up. Now, it might be for a previous year, depending on how Google is working that day, but you can easily find this year's through that. Or you can go to our website, which is mountainrides with an S.net.
Got it.
The .com wasn't available. We're still looking for that one.
So just a little bit earlier in the podcast, and I don't want to throw you under the bus, Travis. So we're curious. We were having a conversation here about the use of Athena and Clydesdale classes that is typically and normally a triathlon type of a classification being pulled back over into some gravel events. And I'm curious, our take on that is that, quite frankly, we don't really think that that's
a gravel thing.
A gravel thing. That's a good way to put it. It really doesn't need to be a gravel. Let the triathlon
That'd be a
people
good T-shirt.
have.
Just it's not a gravel thing.
It's not a gravel thing. Set it aside.
I might steal that.
So I don't know. Jess, did you have anything that you wanted to Travis? I don't know if that's something you have considered, or have thought about, or even actually do. I don't think I've seen that, but.
Well, ladies first. I mean, Jess, if you want to share some thoughts, I do have some thoughts on it, and I'm happy to chime in.
So I don't think I need a category to make myself feel welcomed. I think it's different people riding together, the community, how the event is set up to feel welcomed and inclusive in the cycling community. I don't think I need a category, I don't think I need that. And I don't feel bad if an event doesn't have it. I don't really need it. I didn't really enjoy it in triathlons, and I really don't want it in gravel things.
Well, I'll share, because Travis, you weren't here when we were having this conversation earlier, where I was actually just dumbfounded. I mean, you could have stopped me in my tracks. I probably had my mouth hanging open when you, Jess, were sharing the story of how they literally and physically had you get on a scale.
Correct.
To take your weight to determine where you should be allowed to start that triathlon.
Correct.
I just think that level of yeah, exactly. Joey just shook his head.
I had a chill.
Well, it's probably came from that. It seems like it's just absurd, and that idea of classifying people based upon a body type just feels wrong to me. Feels off.
I mean, like people. I mean, I guess like Kelly Catelli was on the podium, but Unpaved didn't have any podiums. Everybody got a.
They had podiums, but
yeah, but it was like a picture opt. It wasn't like.
Yeah, there was no ceremony.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody got a whoopie pie. Everybody got a cup,
And you walked away.
And they walked away, yeah.
And at the end of the day, those people who were truly racing at segment racing were recognized. And they were doing their thing. And having that classification didn't take anything away from that elite class of athlete that's actually racing an event.
Yeah.
Travis, where do you land on this?
So, I mean, I've offered a Clydesdale category in almost all of my races throughout that I've promoted, and of course, being a bigger guy, and I'm 6'2", right now I'm riding a little heavy at 230, but my racing weight was always over 200. So, the easy button for me was to always enter Clydesdale. But so I always offered that opportunity to other. It was really men like myself. And when I first started promoting, it didn't really dawn on me that, I should offer or could offer something like that to women, because I think I don't know if it's just growing up in West Virginia, the old school thing, you don't ask a woman's weight. And, the day I throw a scale on the ground and ask a woman to step on it is the day that someone should punch me in the mouth. That's just the way, that's a personal conviction, but, I understand that, there are several schools of thought on it, but it's good having your perspective, Jess. I've never been asked by anyone to offer an Athena class in my races, and I only get a handful of Clydesdale guys who come in. I don't know what the right answer is, but
and that's okay. I don't think there is a right answer. I just think the conversation is important, that we should be welcoming all body types, everything into our races. Yeah. So as long as we plan and we try to be inclusive, it's okay not having an answer.
And I think we've seen the development of like non-binary classes, and that's on the side of being inclusive, whereas I think the Athena and Clydesdale conversation, while it's an attempt to acknowledge, I don't know what they're trying to acknowledge, but I think people can say it's an attempt to be inclusive when actually it's putting people in a box. I can
definitely see that. And I try to promote inclusivity through through just offering a lot of different courses.
Yeah.
So I obviously offer a lot of categories, and they're based on age groups. But I offer courses that, you could almost come off the couch, and you might have to walk a little bit up Spruce Knob. But I've seen people, 25 miles is a lot, and it's a huge accomplishment. But what you need to remember is all right, that's only 12 and a half miles uphill. Yeah. The other 12 and a half is downhill. For the most part. So, that's how I try to make my event super inclusive, where anybody who wants to come ride a bike, I don't care what kind of bike it is, just come ride GRUSK. It's 25 mile. I am confident that if you stick with it, you can get to the top and back
and get that view.
Yep.
Get that view.
Joey pulled up the view on his phone, and it is beautiful.
Get the view. You get the weekend.
You get the experience.
And I think it seems like all of our conversations that revolve around this always come back to gravel cycling revolves around the experience.
Yep. And, just doing an event. Just doing it.
Yeah.
Doing the 25 is an amazing accomplishment, and people should celebrate that.
Right.
With bourbon.
With bourbon.
Bourbon.
With bourbon, Joey says.
With bourbon.
We have really good beer, too.
and little round balls of ice. Right, Joey?
Yes, I have round balls of ice.
Oh, very, very swanky.
Yeah. I had to take care of Joe. He got called out a few weeks ago on a need to up his ice game, so I had to go get him.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah, I know, and I can't have people out there, whiskey shaming you, and I had to bring you up to speed. Hey, you got any event sponsors you want to shout out, Travis?
So the biggest one that I have, well, not the biggest one. I have several that are just really top notch, and they've been with me from the beginning. The first one's Pike Street Bikes. That's my local bike shop. My buddy Jason Martin owns that. That's a half an hour rail trail ride from my house down to his shop, and he and his family they go out of their way to help me with this event.
Where are they located?
They're in Shinston, West Virginia.
Okay.
Pike Street Bikes. Super great family shop. He is also he's gone headfirst into frame building. So he's cool. He's an engineer who works for a jet company, Bombardier, who make a lot of commercial and private jets.
Wow.
So he's got an incredible background. He's really meticulous, but he started making frames several years ago, and he's really perfected his craft, and his welds are just beautiful. So he's making a lot of titanium frames these days for custom orders, and he's pretty affordable too. So probably a lot cheaper than you might think for a custom frame.
Who was that?
I'll plug him. Jason Martin, Martin Bike Company.
Martin Bike Company.
Yeah, super great sponsor. The next one is Greenbrier Valley Brewing Company. Last year we always buy their beer, but they have been with us from the event since the first year, and it was really their first year opening, so it was kind of a marriage made in heaven. We bought 25 kegs off of them last year and drained all but 2, so we did a really good job last year. Mountaintop Realty and Rentals. They're a local realty shop in Canaan Valley. They've been one of our biggest sponsors almost every year. So if you need somewhere to stay, not even for GRUSK, just to get out of the city and get up to the mountains of West Virginia, they'll sell you a house or they'll rent you one. Really great people to work with. And the next one, Smoke on the Water Barbecue. They've best barbecue in that part of West Virginia. They've been a huge supporter of us through the years.
Any CBD sponsors?
We don't, and I'll be honest. So I won't tell you who I work for, but I work for a large federal agency.
Enough said.
And I don't even like to touch it. I think like folks like I'd love to have Floyd's. He could write me a check and sell his stuff all day at GRUSK. I think they go out of their way to make sure it doesn't contain any THC, but I'm still leery of it because I do like my job and it pays my mortgage and lets me drive.
I'm the same way. I don't even touch Floyd's.
I only ask because we were just talking earlier about how we should find ourselves a good CBD sponsor.
I stretch unlike you two.
Well, I don't know what Brian does for work, and I run a bike shop, so I'm okay.
Joey and I rub full spectrum CBD all over each other frequently.
Just a pinch between your cheek and gum.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So. Can I ask when you partnered up with Patagonia as far as sponsors?
Oh, that's been a long time ago that we partnered up. Me and Yvonne Chenard went way back. We used to surf off the coast of Argentina until I got bit by a shark and had to hang it up.
So who was that? You that came up with Gravelonia like that?
Yeah. I know just enough graphic arts to get me into like patent trouble.
I love it. Like that was my number one T-shirt this year.
Or copyright infringement. Well, I'm glad you liked it. There may be one for sale at GRUSK. I probably won't show the picture of it, but there may be some shirts like that there for people who want a Gravelonia shirt.
That's another one. I get a lot of comments on that. People be like, "Where is that?"
Yeah, I've had a lot of people like, "Where are you going to do?" I'm like, I don't think you understand.
Yeah, I am going to add West Virginia at the bottom of it. That way they know exactly where Gravelonia is.
It's cool.
Or it could just be a state of mind that exists everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Travis, you willing to stick around for this or that's tonight?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Absolutely.
Now, Joey wrote these, so
not all.
Lord.
I'm going to blame.
Those are my favorites.
So
I just winged it. You wrote the first one.
I did write the first one because
it's cheesy.
No, it's just homage. I'm going to toss it over to you, Travis. Homage, paying homage.
I know what
and then Jess, and then me, and then Joey, just like normal. First item on this week's This or That. Travis, West Virginia or Pennsylvania?
Oh, West Virginia all day long.
Jess?
Is it my turn? I don't know. I don't know if I've been to West Virginia. Like, I've probably driven through it, but I don't know if I've actually, like, been in West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Until this July.
It is my birthday weekend, so just saying.
No way.
It is my birthday weekend.
I usually take her on a ride where she gets hurt. So
yeah, so when
this will break that trend.
When you were saying you had a 32 race, I was like, oh, I'll just cycle 2 more and be 34, and that'll be my birthday miles. But
I think that should be a thing.
Yeah,
I think that should be a
Careful,
thing.
Brian might call you grandma.
Oh yeah, but Joey needs to reserve my yurt.
I'm going to stop talking about any of that.
But I didn't pick, so I'm going to go.
We're going to sleep in our rooftop tent.
We're going to sleep in a rooftop tent.
Those are nice.
Thank you. West Virginia.
Okay, Jess went West Virginia. Now, Travis, did you realize that everybody thinks the John Denver song Country Roads is about West Virginia, but did you know that was actually inspired by a road in Maryland? Did you know that?
So I've heard that rumor, and I don't know if I can conclusively disprove that, but I'm quite certain it was. I mean, of course, the song wasn't written by John Denver.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was written by somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I've heard that it is about West Virginia.
I'm going to go with
it's right there in that pocket.
Based on that alone, because we have this Maryland-West Virginia connection. No matter which way you look at that, there is a thread. I'm going to go also with West Virginia.
And our friend Larry lives there.
That's right, and Larry lives there.
And his dog Snickerdoodle.
Yes.
Yeah, he lives so close to me, but we don't ride together. I need to change that.
Don't go ride with Larry. He will kill you.
Yeah, and he brings his dog.
And he's got weak knees.
I love dogs.
And I love dogs too, but the doodle runs beside it. Larry's a cool guy.
Yeah. Did you see the T-shirt that Betsy got Larry with the Larry thing and then the little doodle on it? And he's like, that's cool.
He has weak knees. When he got done with Unpage, he was like, my knees. So every time I see him on Facebook, I ask him how his knees are doing.
There's no part of Larry this week.
No, not at all. He and I got to ride together at Grit Venture last year over in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia, close to Maryland, close to where the John Denver song was about.
There we go.
Larry, he was a blast to ride with.
He's a great person.
Partner. Yeah, our paces matched up really well, and he's just fun to talk to. I enjoyed it.
Larry's a strong rider.
Joey, your turn, honey.
You guys also. I mean, West Virginia is great, but I love Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're allowed to. I went to college there. It was okay.
We're gonna buy property there at some point in time because that's where we're retiring.
No,
we will. Jessica doesn't realize it.
It's a good place.
They don't tax retirement. You can.
Oh wow!
It's an outdoor state. It feels like it's in the 70s still, and whoopie pies.
And whoopie pies. You don't need anything else, right?
And yeah.
Okay, second item on this or that this week: Maker's Mark or Bubbly.
Is this even a question?
It's a toss-up at this table. So
the ratio of Bubbly to Makers is 2-1 at our table right now.
2-1.
Which way?
Wow. So, I mean, obviously Makers. I think I really liked Bubbly, the first couple weeks that it came out, and now I really can't. I don't know. I'm not a big seltzer fan anymore. Yeah. I'd rather just have water. But hey, you guys do you. It's probably the safe choice if you're training, obviously, to do the Bubbly. So, but a nice little drink of Makers always makes the evening a little better.
Yes, it does. When Joey has a little Makers and a little Floyd's, it does make our evenings much better, much calmer in our house.
All right.
This has been a very calm Tuesday.
This has been a calm Tuesday.
Very calm. I almost feel like Tuesday is Joey Jess venting day.
So it's also because of our inclusion of the bonsai plant that Joey bought me for Valentine's Day, because it is a symbol of healing and balance and Zen. So maybe it's the bonsai plant is bringing us the Zen.
It is new to the table.
Flowers die in a week. Bonsai plant? Well, that could die in a week, but we will take care of it.
It's new to the table. It's surrounded by the succulents, and maybe that is a part of it. Because it has been a very, very nice. So
wait, I'm going Bubbly.
Please. Going Bubbly?
Yep.
I am going to say, why not mix them both together?
Ew.
Ooh, I could do the lime because I do like lime.
Lime and Makers?
Oh, yeah. I would, like a Kentucky Mule.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got any? I don't have any left. I can't do it. Joey,
you shook it like a homeless person. Like, please. I have 2 bottles from Travis that I waited to open up the one tonight.
Yep.
I finished the other one last night. I finished that one last night. It's empty over there, but it's just a good go-to.
That's why I'm buying for you.
So Travis got the nice Eagle Rare, the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey bottle.
With the Gravelonia sticker
With the Gravelonia. I have the Maker's GRUSK sticker bottle.
And his flask all on the table.
Yeah, for the picture.
This is a super easy
for the
one
gram,
for Joey.
But you didn't hate Makers when we went bike packing last time, and it put you to sleep.
Oh no, it was beautiful. it was fantastic.
A nice little flask.
Yeah. The only problem with that was there was only one flask.
So,
and that's my fault. That's on me.
That's probably enough.
That's how COVID spread between me and Brian.
Third item on this or that get a new pro level bike or a new super flowy rolling fun event to go to with all of your friends. So
bike or friends?
Have like a nice fun event, good weekend. You know, like GRUSK.
So like you could either like line yourself up with a super brand new pro level bike, but yet you don't get this really cool
like
chill
I'm talking about like
weekend.
the best ride you're ever gonna have.
Okay. So the bike or the experience?
Best bike or best experience?
Experience. Always. Yep. I don't take care of my bikes all that great. I say that with a whisper. So, and I'm sorry, Joey, you're a bike mechanic. I'm probably your worst nightmare. But I buy like a middle of the road bike and spend the rest on experiences.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I have my Diverge. I mean, I've ridden my Diverge in half Ironman, and I rode it on unpaved. So that bike can get me pretty much anywhere. So I'm going for experience.
I'm going to agree with you. You can bikes will break.
Yeah.
Except for maybe my titanium Otso work, and hopefully that won't, knock on wood. No, bikes are things, and experiences and memories are people.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it's a good this or that though, Joe.
The connection. It's all about the connection.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm tossed.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes just I don't know. That bike could last 10 years. That 2 days. I might go experience. Obviously.
Well,
that's the right answer, but I don't know. It's tough. It's like, all right, let's look at a bike trip, for example. You want to spend $3,000, you want a truck travel trip, or $5,000, get a nice new bike that you can ride for more than the week of the trip.
Yeah, and you could actually then play the card of like a bike so
it's tough.
Bring you some really fantastic ongoing experiences.
Yeah, it could have.
You could go that direction too.
I think I'll go experience because experience is always better, but you never know.
You never know. How would they know? You never know.
Your Renee Hurst tire might blow out during that one dramatic ride you do with all your friends like Brian's just did. So,
oh no.
Yeah, that was not fun. Okay, fourth item on this or that: have an ugly bottle cage on a nice bike that holds your bottle with no issues, or have a good-looking bottle cage on your bike that does not hold the bottle at all.
Oh, I have both, and I'll be honest. I will choose ugly all day long because there's nothing worse than having to turn around, especially on a steep downhill, to go find your water bottle that's skated off the road.
I'm going to agree. I will not climb another mountain just to go find my water bottle. So I will agree with the ugly water bottle cages. I mean, I don't match anyway. I never have matching socks. My water bottles don't match, so why not?
That was the one thing going through the different section at Unpaved was the number of water bottles
on the side of the road.
Yeah, strewn.
You didn't pick them up. Anything look cool?
Oh yeah, there were some really good looking ones, but I didn't want to stop either. I didn't want to stop to pick up. I didn't want to stop to pick up somebody else's water bottles. We think I don't want to stop to pick up my own water bottles. I would much rather have that bottle secured, and then I know that it's there when I need it.
I agree.
Joey?
Mm-hmm.
I might go with good looking bottle cage.
Who needs water?
Yeah. No,
He's got his flask on him.
I drink a lot more water than I think. I didn't think I realized it till that Loudon ride we did, and I gave Jess my water for like the last 20 miles, and I was desperate.
So I have 2 water bottles on my frame, and then I have another water bottle holder on my handles things.
You have the little Nittany bag.
Yeah, so I have 3 places for water.
And you still run out.
Yeah, well, I am thirsty. I drink a lot of coffee. I'm exhausted right now. My dog gets me up at 3:45.
I'll go with gravel riding. I'll go with the janky cage that holds.
Yeah.
For road riding, I'll go with a nice cage that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on a road bike, I mean, you're never going to really hit anything that's going to jar that bottle out anyway, right?
Maybe you never know.
Your
tire might blow out.
All right, you guys got anything else before we shut this thing down?
I do want to say that Mila Kahuna is the spokesperson for Makers.
Who? What?
It's like my celebrity babe from back in the day.
Oh, from
she was
the 70s show.
Dipping the bottle. Yeah,
that 70s show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
We were talking about we weren't allowed to talk about blondes versus brunettes this episode.
No, I nixed that. I said we're not talking.
I'm
about
a brunette guy.
Okay.
Me too.
So in GRUSK, do I have to have a mountain bike or can I ride my gravel bike?
Ooh.
Oh, you can definitely ride your gravel bike.
Okay, good, because I don't have a mountain bike and I don't know how to ride I've never ridden a mountain bike before.
I remember hearing that from last
Yeah,
episode.
Kelly Catelli told me that she was going to help me ride my bike, so I'm very excited.
Joe, when are you bringing home Jess's mountain bike?
Yeah.
Oh, if she wants to go mountain biking, I'll bring one home tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, but Kelly Catelli is going to teach me, and she's also going to teach me how to use a porter potty, because that's the only reason why I'm not a professional athlete is because I don't use the porter potty.
Well, if we go camping at GRUSK, you're going to have to use something other than...
There's no bathrooms in the yurt?
The yurt's for the people in the yurt, right, Travis? What's a bathroom situation like at GRUSK?
That's really what I want to know.
Yeah, so if you're camping, we have porta potties. And if you're in the yurts, you're very close to the bathhouse. So the campground and the bathhouse are really far away. So it's definitely way more convenient if you're camping. But if you're in one of the yurts or you have a bunk in one of the dorm rooms, the bathhouse is, a short jaunt over, and it's convenient.
I actually think, based upon the look on your face, Jess, the idea of bathhouse was worse than porter potty.
Great, I agree.
They're pretty clean. Well, they are until all the, after the
They
race.
are until Joey comes, and then...
All right. I will say, on a lot of these rooftop tents, you can have the vestibule that zips underneath them, and you can put a little, like what are those little porta toilets like you carry on a boat or an RV.
Then you have to deal with that, though.
Yeah. I don't want to use it. I'm just telling her she can clean it out.
I have I'm not going to go there. We have a story about how we had like little kitty
We have
litter.
until July, friends, to figure the bathroom situation out.
I figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah, so we did get a review last year from our survey that we had the cleanest porta johns they'd ever seen.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
And I think it's because I just got so many.
Yeah.
I'll try to do that again this year.
Kelly Catelli will teach me how to use one.
See,
Oh, boy.
that I think is the key to the porta potty, is to have plentiful. Because when you have
Yes, absolutely.
plenty of them, they take a lot less abuse.
And Cousin Eddie's out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, but one thing you're going to want to be very careful of is when you take off your cutaway jersey, you don't lay it down into the bottom of the porta potty.
I've done that.
Yeah,
It's been drenched. It's disgusting.
Oh,
That is disgusting.
did you put it back on?
No, I was telling you that story last week. I went out I just walked in the water.
Walked out naked.
It wasn't pleasant.
Ugh. Ugh, that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Did you put your jersey back on, or did you just walk out with that?
It wasn't a cycling event. It was like 5:30 in the morning. I was down at a boat ramp getting paddle boards, and I went and used the bathroom. And all my clothes that were on the floor were just. So I walked out. I walked down the boat ramp. Just took like a hobo bath.
That's why I carry extra clothing in my vehicle with me at all times. And especially
smart.
now that I've got a spanking new granddaughter who likes
yeah, Bubba, Grandpa.
to get she likes baby spit up. So if I got my extra T-shirt, I don't have to worry about it. That's
wisdom
the way
talking.
you roll. See,
Yeah.
they got the gray hairs to prove it. Okay, everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. And thank you, Travis, for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Travis.
Always
Thank you.
a joy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for all our goodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're always welcome.
Hey, folks, if you enjoy the podcast, maybe consider joining our family over at Patreon. We really appreciate all the support, and your monthly donations of just a couple of bucks help keep the podcast going. And actually, there's a small segment of the Patreon money that I have now put aside for porter potty cleaning services that will Joey,
Kelly Catelli will teach me. She will teach me her wisdom.
How do I apply for that? Sound like a scholarship fund?
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I didn't even mention that, GRUSK is one of our 6 GTD events for 2022. That is one you can actually be a part of the badge program. Joey hates the idea of badges, but we're collectively allowing people to become a part of the family, and by doing an event or even volunteering in an event, we will recognize you. Yes, Joey.
I had a friend, Dan from Jubilee Farms, came in the other day. He's like, "Hey, I heard you talk about volunteering for events. He volunteered for Croatan."
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Never did a gravel event before, but that's how he's getting his feet wet.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's
Hey,
so awesome.
That's actually a
So-
really good idea.
Travis, you still need volunteers.
Always need volunteers.
There you go, people.
That's the hard thing about GRUSK. We're so remote. We're not close to a big city that we can draw on volunteers. So always, please, if you're coming to the event with a loved one who's racing, I can use some help.
Or if you're just there's probably some people out there that are nervous about this idea of gravel, and like you said, it's a great way to see what it's all about, and you get to be a part of the community without the pressure or the worry of having to figure out the bike side of the house.
Yeah.
So, and I think if you don't have a gravel bike and you come to a gravel event and you volunteer and you become a part of the community, it won't be long before you'll have a gravel bike.
Correct.
So
absolutely.
Very true.
it's a great way to actually get into the program. Jay, how can folks get in touch with us?
Our website, designed by Comfort Design Groups, is that a thing anymore?
Yeah, sure.
GravelTravelDirt.com, and our Instagram handle is at MidAtlanticGTD, where I'm still locked out of, but I will get back in.
I'll get you in there as soon as we're done here. Mid-Atlantic Travel and Dirt is recorded this week from right here in Joey's and Jess's kitchen, and Blake's kitchen too now, all the way up to over in West Virginia. Let's see, what did we decide was the best way to describe it? About 30 miles outside of Morgantown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got
exactly.
it. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Oh, man.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.